Welcome to this tutorial, where we will explain behaviors in CGI Studio. First step is to create some instances of Scene 2D. Right-click on Scene 2D and select Add New Item. In the Add New Item dialog, select Scene 2D and press OK. A new Scene 2D will now be created in the Solution Explorer. Repeat the previous steps to create more Scene 2D instances. Once done, change the names of the created Scene 2D instances. Next, you will learn how to move a target object using a slider. First, drag and drop the solid color node from the toolbox into the scene tree. After that, drag and drop a slider from the toolbox into the scene tree. Next, we need to adjust these elements. To do that, change the view to Editor View. Once you are in Editor View, adjust the slider and the solid color node according to your requirement. In the next step, we need to add some behaviors so the slider can work. First, drag and drop Value Behavior from the toolbox into the Behaviors section of the solid color node. After that, add Move Node from the toolbox to the receivers of the newly added value behavior. Next, for the slider, drag and drop Forward Value Behavior from the toolbox onto the slider in the scene tree. Now we need to set the target node of the forward value behavior so that the slider works properly. To do this, click on the forward value behavior and set the target node to the solid color node. Now we want the slider to move only in the X direction. To do so, we need to adapt the properties of Move Node. Click on Move Node and set the X value to 3.5, and set the Y and Z values to 0. After this, we need to check whether the slider is working or not. To do this, click the Generate and Play button and select the scene. Now you can see that the slider is working. Next, switching images using a button control will be explained. First step is to import new images to the solution. Right-click on the Bitmaps folder and click on Import Images. Click Select Files and browse to the location of the images. To switch images using button control, we first need a bitmap node. Add a bitmap node to the scene by dragging it from the toolbox into the scene tree. After that, we also need a text button. So, add a text button to the scene by dragging it from the toolbox into the scene tree. Now we have two images, one for brakes and another for warning. For better understanding, rename the text button to Brakes. In the properties, also change the text of the text button to Brakes. To make the image switching work, we need to add some behaviors. For that, add Set Image Behavior from the toolbox to the behaviors of the Brakes button. For the Brakes image, we already have a Brakes text button. Now we also need a text button for the Warning image. For that, duplicate the Brakes button and rename it to Warning. In the properties, also change the text from Brakes to Warning. Now the two buttons are overlapped. For better understanding, adjust the position of the buttons so they are clearly visible. Now our goal is that when we click the Brakes button, the Brakes image should be visible. And when we click the Warning button, the Warning image should be visible. To do this, select the Set Image Action Behavior of the Warning text button and set its target node to the bitmap node. Then set the image property to the corresponding Warning image. Next, select the Set Image Action Behavior of the Brakes text button and set its target node to the bitmap node. Then set the image property to the corresponding Brakes image. Now we need to check whether switching images using button control is working or not. For that, click the Generate and Play button. You can see that the images switch when the buttons are clicked. In the following part of this tutorial, you will learn how to combine behaviors with animation features. To do this, add a group node and a solid color node from the toolbox to the scene tree. To add the animation feature, we need a text button. For that, add a text button from the toolbox to the scene. After that, rename it to blue. In the properties, also change the text to blue. To add the animation feature, we need another text button. For that, duplicate the to blue text button and rename the new one to red. In the properties, also change the text property to red. Now our goal is to change the color of the solid color node using an animation feature. To do this, right-click on Solid Color Brush Blend Effect and select Add Animated Property. Then click OK. After that, the screen will switch to Animation Design mode. Click on the first keyframe in the animation timeline. In the properties, set the selected keyframe value to red. Then, click on the second keyframe in the animation timeline. In the properties, set the selected keyframe value to blue. Now the animation behavior has been created. Next, switch back to Scene Design mode. Now we need to add an animation behavior to make the animation feature work. For that, add an animation meter from the toolbox to the group node. After that, set the animation maximum value to 1 and set the animation to Recently Created Animation. The recently created animation was now successfully added. To make the buttons work, we need to add Send Value as Event from the toolbox to the two text buttons. When you click the to red text button, color of the solid color node should change. To make this work, click Send Value as Event in the properties. Then set the value to 0.1 and set Change Value to Relative. Finally, set the target node to the group node. Now select the to blue text button and again choose the Send Value as Event behavior. In the properties, set the value to -0.1 and set Change Value to Relative. Next, set the target node to the group node. Now check whether the animation is working or not. For that, click the Generate and Play button. Then click the buttons and you will see the solid color node color changing. This shows that the animation behavior is working. This is the end of this tutorial video. Thank you very much for watching.